Hello and welcome to a video tutorial on the Stage Designer 50 lighting desk by Chauvet. In this video I'll be covering how to create and save your own custom scenes to the lighting desk and then explain how to play them back. There are a few important things to remember when using the Stage Designer 50 in the lighting setup. Firstly, please be conscious of using any strobe effects in case any member of your crew or cast has photosensitive epilepsy. Secondly, please be careful when using the desk and don't use excessive force when moving the sliders, as this can damage the equipment. Thirdly, if there is anything about the desk that you don't fully understand, please make sure you come and talk to us in the resource stores, as we can help you with the desk and its setup. Firstly, ensure the desk is switched on according to the directions from the previous video, then turn off blackout mode, slide the Master A slider to its maximum position, ensure that the fade slider is set to instant and that the speed slider is set to show mode. Finally, make sure that the mode select button is set to page A 1 to 24. As a foundation, we'll start by setting the desk to produce a full white output from every light. To do this, push sliders 1 to 4, 6 to 9, 13 to 16 and 18 to 21 all the way to the top. Now let's take a closer look at why this produces a full white output from all of the lights. In the shoot studio we have 8 lights in groups of 2 at the 4 corners of the room, and these correlate to 4 different sets of sliders. Each pair of lights is represented by 5 sliders, with sliders 1 to 5 correlating to the light pair situated directly above the desk, sliders 6 to 10 correlating to the second pair of lights clockwise, sliders 13 to 17 correlating to the third pair of lights clockwise, and sliders 18 to 22 correlating to the fourth pair of lights clockwise. In each set of 5 sliders, the first slider represents the luminosity or brightness of the pair of lights. The second slider represents the red output, the third slider represents the green output, and the fourth slider represents the blue output. If you slide up the first slider and then a combination of the second, third and fourth sliders, then that pair of lights will output a certain colour. By having the first slider and all 3 colour sliders moved fully to the top, the lights will give off a white colour. If the first slider is not moved up, then that specific pair of lights will not turn on. The 5th slider controls the strobe effect of the light, and if it is fully down, then the light will have no strobe effect. Be aware of using the strobe sliders when working with people who may be sensitive to flashing lights. With this knowledge, you can set up your custom lighting setup using these 20 sliders. Please note that when in lighting mode page A1 to 24, sliders 11, 12, 23 and 24 have no effect. The Stage Designer 50 has 4 pages of 12 programmable scenes. A scene is a full lighting setup of the 4 pairs of lights saved to a single slider. A scene can contain up to 1000 individual lighting setups or steps, which will be iterated through when the scene is turned on according to the speed and fade sliders. To access pre-programmed scenes, firstly ensure the desk is in the chase scene mode. Scenes can only be saved to sliders 13 to 24, however there are 4 pages which can be saved to, and you can tell which page you are on by the lit up indicator above the page button. In this example, we have page 1 selected. To create and save your own scenes, you will need to be in the page A1 to 24 mode, and then enable record mode. To do this, hold down the record button, and while it is still pressed down, press the flash buttons, which are located at the bottom of each slider, of sliders 1, 5, 6 and 8 in order. When you then release the record button, all of the flash buttons will flash and record will show on the display. At this point, feel free to try moving the sliders around to achieve the look that you want, and once all the sliders are in their desired positions, press the record button to save that setup or step to the temporary memory of the desk. As a minimum, a scene requires at least 1 step. You can then change the position of the sliders again and press record to create the next step of the scene, and repeat this process for as many different steps and setups you want to have on this particular scene. Once you've created all the steps that you desire, you can save the scene to a slider by selecting a page with the page button. Then hold the record button and press the flash button for the scene slider you want to assign it to, and then release the record button. All LEDs will flash to show that this was successful. We recommend that you save your custom scenes to page 1, which is reserved for users' custom scenes. When you save to page 1, please make a note on the whiteboard above the desk with your name and date that you have saved your scene. Store's staff will regularly remove old programmed scenes in order to keep a number of scenes always free to be saved to. Once you've finished programming and saving scenes, you can exit record mode by pressing the record and rec exit buttons at the same time. Remember, to use your programmed scene, you'll need to switch to the chase scene mode and push up the slider you saved your scene to. To progress the steps within your scene when in playback mode, press the step button at the top of the speed slider, which will progress the scene by 1 step every time you press the button. When you are done with the desk, make sure you switch it off in accordance with the previous video to prevent any damage being done to the desk. In the final video in this series, I will go into more detail about creating scenes, such as editing and deleting saved scenes, and more detail about playing back scenes including timings, fades, and audio synchronization.